Kindness Changed Everything, Chapter 1. Rain on Claiborne Avenue. One phone call blew the whole truth wide open. The words rattled in Marcus Cole's head as he hustled down Claiborne Avenue, afternoon rain pounding the cracked Memphis pavement like an angry drummer. He tucked his phone into his back pocket, shook the water off his hoodie, and laughed under his breath. Man, if Mama could see me sprinting for a laundry ticket, she'd call me dramatic. Inside Fresh Spin Laundry, the air smelled of bleach, steam, and onion rings from the diner next door. Ebony Reed, 22, just dropped her rinse bucket and was hustling per usual between humming washers. She barely heard her manager, Mr. Darrell, barking from the office doorway. "Ebony, that VIP order's due at 3. Quit daydreamin'." Ebony rolled her eyes, whispered, "Yes, sir," and went back to scrubbing a silk jumpsuit that probably cost more than her whole paycheck. The place was swampy hot. Ceiling fan clacked like it wanted a raise. Outside thunder cracked hard enough to shake the lint traps. Marcus pushed through the glass door, drenched, sneakers squeaking. His phone buzzed again, same unknown number that had whispered, "One phone call blew the truth wide open." But he killed the ring and focused on finding the pickup slip. Ebony noticed the soaked stranger and flashed a quick smile, the kind folks give when they're too tired for real conversation but still polite. Mr. Darrell lumbered out, saw Marcus's Rolex peeking from his sleeve, and switched to customer service mode so fast it looked painful. "Afternoon, sir. How can we help you?" Marcus held up the crumpled ticket. "Need my dad's church robes. Name's Cole." At that exact second, the brake buzzer blared. Ebony jerked, bucket slipped, and brownish wash water shot straight across the floor, splattering the cherry-red silk jumpsuit clutched in Zaria Banks's manicured hand. Zaria looked down at the stain, then up at Ebony like she'd discovered roaches in her cereal. "You kiddin' me?" Zaria shrieked, Memphis drawl mixing with Instagram fake British. "Do you know how much this cost?" Ebony's heart slammed. She stammered, "Ma'am, I'm so sorry. I'll rewash it right." Too late. Zaria's palm cracked across Ebony's cheek. The whole laundry went silent except for Sammy Davis Jr. crooning on the ancient radio. Marcus blinked. Zaria didn't even notice him. She was busy lighting the place on fire with her voice. "Manager! Fire this girl before I shut y'all down!" Mr. Darrell puffed up like a dollar store peacock, desperate to keep the Banks family account. "Ebony, pack your stuff," he barked. "You're done." The slap still rang in Ebony's ears while she fumbled for words. "But Mr. Darrell, Zaria snapped a selfie of the stain, probably for her pity party followers. Marcus felt the back of his neck heat up. Still, he kept quiet. He'd learned long ago rich folks' drama could sink any good deed if you moved too soon. 10 minutes later, Ebony stepped into the storm with a backpack, a plastic grocery bag, and no job. The rain felt colder than before. Storefront lights flickered in puddles, neon blues and pinks swirling like cheap slushies. Ebony muttered, half joking, half prayer, "Lord, if this is a teachable moment, can we skip to the multiple choice part?" Thunder answered with a sarcastic boom. Marcus signed for his dad's robes, watched Ebony shuffle away, and felt something twist in his gut. The phone buzzed again, unknown caller. He answered this time, static, then a woman's whisper. "Marcus, watch who you trust. Your brother's fiancée ain't who she claims." Click. Marcus stared at the screen, then at Zaria's back as she strutted to her Lexus. He shook rain from his lashes, grinned wryly, and muttered, "Ain't that a plot twist?" Up the block, Ebony ducked beneath a flickering streetlight, backpack over her head, sneakers squishing. She passed Miss Ruby's Soul Kitchen, took one whiff of frying catfish, and her stomach growled loud enough to scare a pigeon. She had exactly $3. Catfish was out, so she kept walking, rain soaking her braids, mascara smearing like tire tracks on her cheeks. Behind her, Marcus fired up his coupe and eased into traffic, windshield wipers slapping time with the blues on the radio. He wasn't sure why he felt responsible, but the feeling was loud and clear. Catch up with that girl or spend the night wondering what if. Ebony reached the corner bus shelter just as lightning lit the sky purple. Shelter roof leaked. Wind shoved rain sideways under it anyway. She hugged her backpack and tried to laugh. Memphis weather stay petty, but the laugh died quick. Marcus rolled to a stop across the street, engine idling. He watched her shiver, eyes watering from more than rain. Swallowed hard. Man, don't be crazy, he told himself. Then he remembered Mama's favorite clapback. You got 2 hands, one to help yourself, one to help somebody else. Light changed. Marcus hit his blinker and pulled over. Ebony glanced up, wary. He lowered the window, rain splattering the leather door panel. You okay? He called. She shrugged like that should answer everything. Look, Marcus said, voice steady but not pushy. I know I'm a stranger, and yeah, that's sketchy. But it's pouring, and I got a dry seat and a half-decent cup of coffee riding shotgun. Least I can do after what you just took. Ebony's eyes narrowed. You work with her? She asked, jerking her chin toward where Zaria's Lexus had vanished. Nah, Marcus chuckled. I barely tolerate her. Rain hammered the roof. Thunder grumbled again. Ebony hesitated, then sighed like the whole city sat on her chest. Coffee sounds real nice, she said. Marcus leaned over, popped the passenger door. As Ebony climbed in, the unknown caller's warning echoed in his head, but he shoved it aside. He hit the blinker, melted into the flow of taillights on Claiborne Avenue, and thought, one phone call blew the truth wide open. But tonight, maybe a simple ride could change everything. Chapter 2. A Cadillac and a Kind Heart. Girl, you ever ride in a car that rumbles like a gospel bass? Marcus cracked that joke the second Ebony swung the heavy door shut. The '79 Coupe de Ville shuddered as though the engine had been baptized in barbecue smoke and blues guitar. Ebony's laugh came out shy, then rolled into a full-on cackle that steamed the cold glass. They cruised down Beale Street, neon signs bleeding pink and turquoise over the rain-slick asphalt. Ebony hugged the styrofoam cup of diner coffee Marcus handed her. Extra sugar, no charge, and tried not to stare at his watch flashing under the dashboard light. In her head, she fought a civil war. One side hollered stranger danger, the other whispered blessing in disguise. Marcus cut through the debate. Look, I ain't here to play hero. My mama just raised me to keep an umbrella big enough for 2. Ebony shot him a side-eye. Umbrella? Sir, you scooping strangers off bus stops in a Cadillac. That's a whole tarp. Marcus grinned, gears shifting smooth. The rain eased to drizzle, leaving mist waltzing over the river. Ebony's stomach growled loud. Marcus pretended not to notice, then popped the glove box and slid out a crushed bag of honey butter chips. Emergency rations, he said. She tore the bag open, inhaled half in one bite. You saving lives for real, she muffled through crumbs. Right then his phone buzzed. Unknown caller, same as before. He silenced it but couldn't kill the chill marching up his spine. Ebony clocked the tension in his jaw. Everything cool? She asked. He forced a shrug. Probably warranty folks. They follow me harder than bill collectors. The Cadillac rolled into South Memphis, past graffiti angels and corner stores that smelled like fryer grease and hope. They stopped in front of an old brick community center, Cole Family Outreach. Letters faded but proud. A busted street lamp flickered overhead like it couldn't decide if tonight was a good night to shine. Marcus unlocked the side door, motioned for Ebony to follow. Inside, the place sang with floor wax and Sunday school crayons. Basketballs echoed in the distant gym. A gospel choir practiced upstairs, voices sliding through cracks like warm syrup. Ebony whispered, "Feels like the building's breathing." "Yeah," Marcus said, leading her up creaky stairs. "Granddad built this place so neighbors could catch their breath. Figured you could use one too." He opened a small apartment above the auditorium. Single bed quilt hand-stitched in sunset colors. Stack of worn paperback romances on a milk crate nightstand. A thrift store lamp glowed amber, chasing off the damp. Ebony stepped inside slow, like the floor might vanish. She ran a thumb over the quilt, eyes glossing. "A room in a library? Sir, you trying to spoil folks." "I'm trying to get right with the universe," Marcus said, then changed the subject before it got heavy. "Bathrooms through there, towels clean, promise." He dug in his wallet, left $40 on the crate. "Breakfast money. Center kitchen don't open till 8. Ebony frowned at the bills. "I ain't no charity case." "Didn't say you were." He backed toward the door. "Consider it rent in advance. You're on laundry detail tomorrow. Those choir robes don't starch themselves." That coaxed another laugh out of her. "Guess I'm still on spin cycle." Marcus lingered. The rain restarted, tapping on the window like impatient fingers. Thunder boomed. Ebony flinched before she could hide it. He softened his voice. "Storm's loud, but the roof is strong. You safe here, Ebony?" She nodded, braid tips trembling. "Thank you, Marcus. I didn't catch your whole name." "Marcus Emmanuel Cole." Her eyebrows lifted. "Cole? Like the Cole Realty signs?" "Same family, long story. We'll swap chapters later." He tipped 2 fingers to his brow like an old-school soldier and closed the door. Ebony sank onto the bed, quilt-puffing dust motes that danced in the lamp glow. Memphis thunder rolled and choir voices drifted through the floorboards, singing about rivers wide and bridges strong. She whispered a prayer her grandma used to say, half lullaby, half warning. River may rise, but the stone remembers who stepped kindly on it. Downstairs, Marcus leaned against a soda machine, thumb hovering over the unknown number. His gut said answer. His brain said, let sleeping snakes lie. He hit call back, straight to voicemail. No greeting, just that same whisper recorded on loop. Marcus, watch who you trust. Your brother's fiancée ain't who she claims. Be careful who stands in the rain with you. He pocketed the phone and stared up the stairwell. Rain hammered the roof, baptizing the city in secrets. Somewhere between those drops, he heard Mama's voice again. In every storm, son, don't just ask what you're hiding from. Ask who you're willing to shield. Marcus exhaled slow, tasting iron from old worries. Ebony, 2 flights above, curled into the quilt, chips on the nightstand, coffee cup empty on the sill. She smiled for the first time since noon, unaware a stranger's warning now knotted her fate to a man she barely knew. And outside, lightning stitched the clouds like an impatient tailor, promising that tonight's loose threads would soon pull tight. Chapter 3, Marble Floors, Paper Smiles. Ebony woke to the smell of cinnamon rolls and gospel drums. For one glorious second, she forgot the slap, the rain, all of yesterday's mess. Then her phone, still stuck on 3% battery, buzzed with a single text from her old manager. "Good luck out there." Translation: "Don't come back." She sighed, rolled out of bed, and stepped onto wood planks warm from morning sun. Below her, the choir hammered a final amen, and kids in the gym whooped at a half-court shot. The whole building pulsed like a happy heart. Downstairs, Marcus balanced a tray of cinnamon rolls the size of hubcaps. He spotted Ebony at the stair landing and flashed a grin. "Breakfast tax is one good joke," he said. She rubbed sleep from her eyes. Why the Scarecrow win Teacher of the Year? Marcus set the tray on a folding table. "Hit me, 'cause he was outstanding in his field." She waited, cheeks puffing. He groaned but laughed anyway. "Girl, that joke's older than cable news, but you earned a roll." As they ate, sunrise painted the community center windows gold, and dust motes floated like tiny lanterns. For a moment it felt safe enough to dream. Ebony imagined earning real money, maybe saving for cosmetology school. But dreams got cut short when the front door slammed. Zaria Banks strutted in, heels clicking like a news ticker, red coat swirling drama behind her. Two social media assistants trailed, live streaming every eyelash flutter. The gym grew quiet, noses twitched at her expensive perfume, smelled like roses and rent money. Ebony's cinnamon roll froze halfway to her mouth. Marcus whispered, "Let me handle this." But Zaria was already talking loud enough to register on the Richter scale. "Oh, look who upgraded from spin cycle to charity case," she said, camera pointed square at Ebony. "Tell your followers how it feels to ruin Kuchar." Ebony's stomach flipped. Kids nearby murmured, phones ready for viral content. Marcus stepped between them. "Zaria, this center ain't a runway. Tone it down." She tilted her head, sugar-sweet smile hiding razor blades. "Marcus, baby, I'm just checking the place my future husband promised to renovate." Hard to stay calm when staff throws dirty water at me. "Future husband?" Ebony blinked. Marcus's expression stiffened, but he kept his voice level. "Renovations happen next month. Till then, respect the folks volunteering here." Zaria's assistants panned their phones for drama. One whispered, #LaundryGate. Ebony felt her cheeks burn. Voices in her head argued. One said fight back. The other said stay small and survive. She chose neither. She took a shaky breath and spoke up. "Ma'am, I'm sorry about yesterday, but everybody messes up. Even rich folks spill coffee." The joke wobbled out, half confident, half terrified. A kid in the back snorted. Zaria's smile cracked. "I don't do coffee, sweetheart. Stains are for people who can't afford replacements." The line sliced the room. Marcus's fist curled by his side. Before he could speak, an elderly woman with silver cornrows, Miss Lila, the choir director, stepped forward holding a Bible thicker than a phone book. "Child," she told Zaria, voice like velvet over steel, "we don't measure folks by price tags in this house. You break a soul to save a dress, you bought the wrong garment." Kids murmured, "Amen." Cameras dropped a few inches. Zaria's cheeks flushed redder than her coat. She hissed, "Oh, this isn't over," spun on her heel and stormed out, entourage scrambling behind. Silence hovered until Marcus blew a slow whistle. "Miss Lila just body-checked pride in one verse," he said. Laughter rippled through the gym, but Ebony's hands still shook. Marcus noticed, nudged a bottle of water her way. "You good?" She nodded, tears pricking. "I'm tired of feeling like a walking mistake." Marcus leaned closer, voice low. Listen, my granddad used to tell a story about a clay pot with a crack. River water leaked out all the way home, but the drip watered the roadside flowers. Sometimes your flaw feeds beauty you can't see. Ebony sniffled, half laughing. That's cute, but right now my flaw just trending on TikTok. Then we plant bigger flowers, he said, starting with choir robes. You in? She wiped her face. Yep. Let's start some holiness into this day. They moved to the laundry room and back, 3 coin washers, 2 dryers, and a beat-up ironing board. Steam rose as Ebony worked, her motions fluid, almost dance-like. Marcus watched, impressed by the grace behind each fold. When their shoulders bumped, electricity zipped up his arm. He pretended to focus on hanging robes, heart thumping like a bass drum. Ebony felt it too and cracked, "Careful, sir, these robes already holy." Outside, a noon sun burned the rain away, birds arguing in the gutters. Zaria's car screeched past, her face stone cold behind tinted glass. Ebony didn't see it, but Marcus did. His phone buzzed with another unknown text. She's coming for the crack in the pot. He slid the phone away and smiled at Ebony, though worry tugged his brow. Because every folktale told him storms test the seams after the sun comes out. And someone somewhere was sharpening lightning for round 2. Yet in that steamy laundry room he found a stubborn hope. Maybe stitched inside every robe was a promise bigger than fear. And maybe 2 strangers could mend more than fabric if they stayed brave enough to stand together. Chapter 4. The setup right after sunset. Marcus locked the center and offered Ebony a ride back to the upstairs apartment. She waved him off with a grin. I'm a big girl, Mr. Cole. Whole 4 blocks. I'll be fine. So Marcus peeled off toward a zoning board meeting, leaving Ebony to stroll beneath street lamps buzzing like sleepy hornets. The June air smelled of fresh-cut grass and somebody grilling ribs down on Vance Avenue. Ebony hummed along with cicadas, feeling for the first time in ages almost light. She did not see the Lexus roll out of the alley. Zaria watched through tinted glass, lipstick red as a stop sign. Let her enjoy the breeze, she told her driver. A calm lamb never spots the wolf. 30 minutes later, Marcus hurried through City Hall's revolving door and spotted his older brother Julius arguing with a reporter. Julius's eyes flicked to Marcus. Little bro, you bring the budget files? Marcus lifted the folder, then lowered his voice. Yo, Julius, you sure about Zaria? She started static at the center today. Julius chuckled, but his smile looked brittle. Women love drama, man, don't sweat it. Across town, Ebony unlocked the side door of the community center and climbed the dark stairwell. She flicked on her room lamp and gasped. A velvet jewelry box lay open on her pillow, diamond cufflinks winking like midnight ice. Ebony's hands shook as she lifted the box. Lord, I don't own anything this shiny. What's it doing here? On the main floor, Zaria eased open the office door. She wore black gloves the color of fresh secrets. In seconds, she cracked the petty cash safe. Old bank job tutorials on YouTube finally paying off. Slipped out a stack of grant checks and slid Marcus's master key back on the hook. She adjusted her wig in the window reflection and whispered, Now let's frame the help. Upstairs, Ebony paced. Somebody messed up, she muttered. Probably Marcus's stuff. I'll give it back first thing. She tucked the cufflinks into her hoodie pocket, unaware Zaria was already tiptoeing up the stairs. The hallway light sputtered. Ebony opened the door and nearly crashed into Zaria, who shrieked like a kettle. Phones in her purse started live streaming automatically. You! Zarya hissed, cameras rolled. Stealing again? Ebony froze. I found these on my bed. I was bringing them to Marcus. Zarya's lips curved into a plastic smile. Sure, sweetheart, internet meet Memphis's most ambitious thief. She snatched the cufflinks, stuffed them into Ebony's pocket, then yanked her phone for a close-up. Got the evidence right here, y'all, Chaos echoed. Kids from the gym charged up the stairs. Miss Lila, hair in rollers, waved a broom. Marcus burst through the front door seconds later, Julius on his heels. What's going on? Marcus shouted. Zarya turned, tears already cued. Baby, she broke into your office, took your granddaddy's cufflinks. Look, still in her hoodie. She plunged a manicured hand into Ebony's pocket and pulled the box like a magician. Gasp from the crowd. Flashlights from 3 phones lit Ebony's face. Marcus swallowed. Part of him screamed setup, but the sight of that velvet box twisted his gut. Julius stepped forward, jaw hard. Marcus, call the cops. Theft over $5,000 is a felony. Ebony's knees wobbled. I didn't take nothing. Someone planted it. Please. Miss Lila raised a finger. Let the child speak. But Zarya was already dialing 911 for the live stream. Yes, officer, we have the thief detained. She clicked off and smirked at Ebony. Guess orange will match your budget. Marcus's chest hammered. He stared at Ebony, wide eyes, shaking hands, and memories flashed. Her nervous joke at breakfast, the way she folded choir robes like newborn blankets. This girl didn't fit the word thief. Still, cameras burned holes. Julius whispered, Optics, bro, investors watching. Marcus felt trapped. With a voice dry as sand, he said, Ebony, maybe you should go until we sort this out. The world tilted. Ebony heard water rushing, though there was no water. Go where? She croaked. Silence answered. Tears blurred the hallway. She pivoted, ran down the stairs, burst into the night. Rain returned like a switch flipped, pounding pavement, washing chalk hopscotch lines off the sidewalk. Ebony slogged through puddles, hoodie plastered to her skin, adrenaline buzzing. Behind her, police sirens screamed closer. At the corner, she ducked into an abandoned bus shelter. Her phone battery died mid-prayer. Thunder rattled the plexiglass. Ebony hugged herself, remembering Marcus's cracked pot story. Flowers, huh? She whispered. Ain't no flowers on Claiborne tonight. She shivered, but a stubborn ember of hope refused to die. Back at the center, Marcus stared at the cufflinks now bagged as evidence. Officers logged statements, Julius spun PR damage control, and Zarya dabbed crocodile tears. When the hallway emptied, Miss Lila pressed a weathered hand to Marcus's shoulder. Son, when a river muddies overnight, you ask who stirred the bottom, not who floated to the top. Then she walked away, humming an old field hymn, leaving Marcus under flickering light, heart heavy with questions and the metallic taste of regret. Out on Vance Avenue, Ebony wiped rain from her lashes and whispered to the stubborn sky, If the pot's cracked, Lord, show me the flowers. Lightning flickered. Thunder answered, but this time the thunder almost sounded like a promise. Chapter 5. The long night and the light guilt smacked Marcus like a Memphis freight train the second the squad car pulled off. Rain drummed the roof of his coupe and the windshield fogged, but he kept seeing Ebony's face. Shock, then that hollow hurt folks get when home turns on them. His phone buzzed again. Unknown caller. He almost let it slide to voicemail, then slammed his thumb on answer. A teenage voice whispered, Mr. Cole? I think I got proof. Crackly audio, wind noise, basketballs echoing. Name's Devin. I run the center's live stream when Coach lets me. My phone caught Miss Banks sneaking round your office. Thought it was weird, so I saved the feed. Marcus sat straight. You serious, lil man? Serious as rent. Links in your text. Click. Heart banging, Marcus opened the clip. Grainy but clear enough. Zaria in black gloves cracking the safe, stuffing paperwork into her purse. No sound, yet her grin looked louder than fireworks. Marcus cursed under his breath, fired the engine and swung onto Vance Avenue. The storm raged like the sky was chasing unpaid bills. Streetlights flickered off in sheets of water. He hit speaker, called Julius, straight to voicemail. Of course, Big Bro was too busy protecting the brand to answer a 3 a.m. truth bomb. Meanwhile, under the busted bus shelter, Ebony huddled in her soaked hoodie. Rainwater dripped from the plexiglass roof onto her sneakers. An empty chip bag skated across the pavement like it had somewhere better to be. She hugged her knees, teeth chattering. A stray tabby cat slid in beside her, shook off the wet, and meowed like, "Girl, same." Ebony almost laughed. Almost. An old folk tale from Grandma drifted through her foggy mind. When the night spits darkness, look for the firefly that brings news. She sighed into the wind. Any fireflies left in Memphis, Lord? Headlights washed over the shelter. Ebony squinted, ready to bolt, but the car eased slow. Cadillac grille glinted. The driver's door flew open and Marcus sprinted through puddles, holding his phone overhead like it was holy scripture. "Ebony!" he shouted. I was wrong. Come on, please." She stiffened. "You bring cuffs or apologies?" "Receipts," he said, waving the phone. "Proof Zaria set you up. I'm sorry. I was softer than microwaved ice cream. Let me fix this." The cat decided negotiations looked positive and trotted off. Ebony stood, water pouring off her braid tips. "Why'd you believe her in the first place?" Marcus swallowed. Thunder cracked. "I let fear pick my side. Rich folks call it risk assessment. Miss Lila calls it cowardice." He managed a crooked grin. "She also promised to whoop me with a hymnal if I didn't find you." Ebony's lips twitched despite the cold. "That woman got aim." "Yep, and Devin's video got resolution." He showed her the clip. She watched in silence, rain spitting across the screen, then exhaled like a weight slid off her spine. Marcus opened the passenger door. Warm air smelled of cinnamon and leather. "Let's go clear your name." She hesitated. "And if they still choose Zaria?" "Then we remind 'em a pot with a crack can still carry truth." He offered his hand. Rain dripped from his sleeve. Ebony thought about last night's cufflinks, about hopscotch lines washed away, about flowers she couldn't see yet. She took his hand. 5 minutes later, they slid into the community center parking lot. Police cruisers idled, blue lights strobing. Julius paced the steps, phone glued to his ear. Zaria lounged under an umbrella, fake tears replaced by flawless makeup. When she saw Ebony step from the Cadillac, her smile fell like wet confetti. Marcus strode up, phone in the air. "Officer Mills got new evidence." He clicked play on Devin's video. The hallway crowd gasped, as did Julius, who muttered something about crisis management gone sideways. Zaria's face drained. "Deep fake," she blurted. Devin popped out of the doorway, still in gym shorts, holding the original phone. "Nah, ma'am, straight live feed. Time-stamped. Live stream seen by 38 viewers and one very nosy grandma." Miss Lila waved from the balcony, hymnal clutched like a badge. Officer Mills nodded, read Zaria her rights, and cuffed her with the same snap she'd once reserved for selfies. As they led her past Ebony, Zaria sneered, "Enjoy your 15 minutes, laundry girl." Ebony raised an eyebrow. "I'll take 15 honest minutes over fake fame any day." Julius dragged Marcus aside. "This is a PR nightmare." Marcus clapped his brother's shoulder. "Nightmares end when you wake up, big bro. Time to open your eyes." The storm eased. Clouds split, moonlight spilling over the center's brick walls. Steam rose from pavement like ghosts of bad choices leaving town. Kids poured out, cheering Ebony's name. Miss Lila started a hymn. Devin Beatbox remixed the chorus. Somebody popped a bag of microwave popcorn to celebrate. Even the cat reappeared, snagging a kernel. Marcus glanced at Ebony, rain-slick hair glowing silver under the street lamp. "About that job?" she smirked. "Hope it comes with dental, 'cause I plan on smiling a lot." He laughed, heart lighter than it had been in years. In that moment, both understood the folk wisdom carved into every gospel run. A storm may bully the river, but the cracked pot will still water the seeds if somebody brave enough keeps carrying it. Chapter 6. Roots and Wings. "Hot chicken in 5, y'all." Devin's voice echoed through the freshly painted gym, setting off a wave of cheers. 3 months had blown past since the stormy night, and Cole family outreach looked reborn. New floors, bright murals of sunflowers and saxophones, and banners that read "Community is currency." Ebony Reed stood at a folding table, sliding the last choir robe onto a hanger. The robe smelled of lavender starch and second chances. Across the court, Marcus Cole wrestled with a balloon arch that kept sagging like it had attitude. Miss Lila poked him with a ruler. "Baby, you bust billion-dollar budgets but can't tie a knot?" "Ma'am, gravity hates me," he said, then winked at Ebony. She answered with a grin that warmed him more than the box fan whirring overhead. Outside, late summer Memphis baked under a caramel sun. Julius Cole's SUV rolled up on cue. He stepped out in a linen suit, no tie. PR armor retired for the day. He carried a plaque inscribed Volunteer of the Year and, more important, a plate of his mama's pecan pie. Julius spotted Ebony and walked over slow, hat in hand. "Miss Reed," he began, voice rough like gravel turning to silk. "You deserved better from me. I forgot family ain't just blood, it's also the folks who mop your mistakes." He handed her the pie. "Peace offering. Recipes guarded tighter than Fort Knox." Ebony laughed. "I'll take that truce with ice cream on the side." They shook hands, sealing it. Somewhere in the rafters, the tabby cat meowed approval. At 2 o'clock, the block party kicked off. Kids bounced in a moonwalk shaped like Graceland. Neighbors lined up for ribs, and a jazz trio riffed on Amazing Grace till traffic slowed to listen. A TV crew arrived, but this time nobody chased clout. They chased good news. Marcus climbed the stage. "Okay, Memphis," he boomed, mic squealing once like a startled goose. "We got free school supplies, haircut vouchers, and, courtesy of Ebony, 20 fresh scholarships to Bluff City Cosmetology." Applause thundered. Ebony's cheeks burned sweet. He continued, "My granddad said a cracked pot spills enough water to grow a garden. Tonight we celebrate every crack that let love leak out and feed this neighborhood." Phones shot skyward, recording. Ebony felt a tug on her sleeve. Miss Lila pressed something into her palm. A single sunflower seed. "Plant it where the rain found you," the elder whispered. "Watch what grace can do." Before Ebony could answer, the saxophone slid into a slow groove and Marcus offered his hand. "Dance break," he said, shrugging. "Center rules." She rolled her eyes but stepped close. They swayed, sneakers squeaking on polished wood until the room blurred into color and sound. Marcus leaned in. "Remember the busted umbrella that started all this?" "Yeah," she said. "Next rainy night," he murmured. "Let's share a new one, on purpose this time." Ebony laughed, heart thudding. "Deal, but I'm picking the playlist." Moments later, Officer Mills strolled in, off duty, barbecue sauce on his tie. "Newsflash," he announced. "Miss Banks pled guilty to fraud. Judge sentenced her to community service. Starts tomorrow mopping these floors." Laughter rose like fireworks. No one bothered to hide their delight. As evening slid in, lanterns swung from the basketball hoops and fireflies sprinkled gold over the courtyard. Julius led a toast. "To roots that keep us steady and wings that teach us how high we can rise." Cups clinked, sweet tea spilling but nobody caring. Ebony drifted to the edge of the crowd, sunflower seeds still in hand. She spotted the old bus shelter, now painted bright teal with a fresh roof. Kneeling in the dirt patch beside it, she pressed the seed into the soil. Warm breeze brushed her cheek and the streetlights hummed like lullabies. Marcus joined her, 2 coffees balanced in one hand. "Planting hope?" "Yep," she said. "Figure the sidewalk needs flowers too." He handed her a cup. Steam curled between them like invisible ribbon. Guess the cracked pot did its job after all. Ebony sipped, eyes shining. And the water kept flowing. They stood side by side, listening to choir voices drifting from the gym. Roots in the earth, dreams in the sky, while the city around them learned that mercy, once poured, never dries up. It simply finds new ground to bloom.